There's new factions, the Monk's Grove, new enemies such as lake bandits, and new water variants of the feral creatures that you come into contact with in caves. There's new weapons like the Blunderbuss, the Rapid Blade, and the Speed Arrows. Loads and loads of cool stuff in there. We get to see how some of this works, but they have said they're going to do a deep dive into the functions and what all the extra equipment is going to do. As well as that, there's new mysteries and new skills that we'll be able to use and utilize. One of those skills is the ability to crush enemies, which is quite insane. So you can become infected and have the strength of like a feral, and you'll be able to crush enemies, which will actually enable you to move around a lot more stealthy because there's no dead bodies. So that is actually quite a cool feature. The downside is you are going to be infected whilst doing that. There's no news yet as to what the actual buffs and debuffs are going to be on that, whether we'll see a very enhanced rate of life loss whilst using it, or whether it will be just be like it is in the base game and you lose a little bit of life whilst you're infected, but it's not the end of the day. You can push through it with some meds. Now, the new island it's located on is Midsummer Isle, which is a whole new island, well, as mentioned in the DLC, which features a dockyard, small villages that have been overrun by everything that is you see in all of the Windscale facilities. It pretty much looks like a Windscale facility mixed in with Wyndham Village, which does seem really quite cool and creepy. There's going to be clouds overhead, so it's going to be much more of a darker setting than going through Wyndham Village and some of those other areas that are in the base game. There's also going to be a bard facility on the island that you'll be able to explore. It is not connected, though, however, to the main bard or any of the other islands. The only way you move backwards and forwards is through a small boat, and you will need to move backwards and forwards because some of the storyline is tied in to the original game, which could lead to different endings. You're going to need to go down to the dockyard and travel between the two locations to find various clues that are dotted around. As well as that, connecting into the main story and potentially changing how the actual main storyline ends is quite cool. And there's also a new questline featuring the new faction of Monk's Grove. Now, Monk's Grove are a new faction that believe in something ancient that ties them to the land. They're very, very mysterious. We haven't seen too much of them yet, but hopefully we learn a little bit more in the coming days. Now, having that connection to the mainland and the Windscale facility also brings with it something else. The operator is still with you. So how he's going to play into this, I'm not too sure. Now, if you've completed the main game, you'll know what the operator is and whether you help them or not, or whether you go against them. There's loads of ways that the game can actually end depending on what you've done. I was going to get a gameplay ending and all of the scenarios put together in a video, but I just haven't had the time to get around to it. But overall, the ending is quite cool. I'd highly recommend playing through at least once before trying the Wicked Isle.